Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports. I'm your host, Robert. All right, college football week number 7. Week number 6, we ended up 21-7 overall straight up picks, 17-11 against the spread, and 14-14 on the over/under. Year to date, straight up picks 141-54 against the spread, 98-97. Over/under 93-102. That is a 56.7% winning percentage. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely want to get over 60, but I'm satisfied with what we've done so far. We got to work on the over/under a little bit. Other than that, we've been pretty good, pretty steady. We have 28 games this week, just like last week. Game 1, we have the 1-4 California Golden Bears versus the 9th ranked Oregon Ducks, who are 4-1. Oregon is favored by 13.5. I have them winning, covering, and over on the 54.5. 24th ranked San Diego State Aztecs, who are 5-0, versus the 3-3 San Jose Spartans. The Aztecs are favored by 8. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 41. Out of the SEC, we have the 4-2 Auburn Tigers going up against the 17th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks, who are 4-2. The Razorbacks are favored by 3.5 at home. As much as I want to go with the home team here, I'm going with the Tigers. I think a Tiger beats a Razorback. So I'm giving Auburn the 3.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 53. Staying with the SEC, we have the 20th ranked Florida Gators, who are 4-2, versus the LSU Tigers, who are 3-3. Florida is favored by 10 on the road. I'm getting them to win, so Florida wins. They cover the 10 and under on the 59. We move to the Big 10, 10th ranked Michigan State Spartans, who are 6-0, versus the 2-3 Indiana Hoosiers. Michigan State favored by 4.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 51.5. Big 12, it's 12th ranked Oklahoma State Sooners, who are 5-0. Oklahoma State Cowboys, who are 5-0, going up against the 25th ranked Texas Longhorns, who are 4-2. Texas is favored by 5.5. I'm giving Oklahoma State the 5.5. I got Oklahoma State winning, covering the 5.5, and over on the 60. 21st ranked Texas A&M Aggies, 4-2, going against the Missouri Tigers, who are 3-3. Texas A&M is favored by 8.5. I got them winning, covering, under on the 60.5. The 3-2 UCF University of Central Florida Knights going up against the third ranked Cincinnati Bearcats, who are 5-0. Bearcats are favored by 21. I got UCF covering the 21 and then under on the 58, and the Bearcats winning. The 19th ranked BYU Cougars, who are 5-1, going up against the 5-1 Baylor Bears. Baylor is favored by 6. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 50. Next up, we have the 4-2 Fresno State Bulldogs versus the 4-1 Wyoming Cowboys. Fresno State was favored by 3.5 on the road. I'm giving the 3.5 to the home team Wyoming Cowboys. I got the Cowboys winning, covering the 3.5, and under on the 55.5. Next up, we have the 3-2 Purdue Boilermakers versus the number 2 ranked 6-0 Iowa Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes are favored by 6 on home. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 44. Next up, we have the 4-1 Pittsburgh Panthers versus the 3-2 Virginia Tech Hokies. Pittsburgh is favored by 5 on the road. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 58. The 11th ranked Kentucky Wildcats, who are 6-0, against the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs, who are also 6-0. This is number 1 and 2 in the SEC East. Bulldogs are favored by 23.5 at home. I don't think it's going to be that lopsided. So I got Georgia winning, Kentucky covering at 23.5. I am taking over on the 44.5. Even though Georgia's defense is only giving up on an average 5.5 points a game, but Kentucky's been scoring on the average of 31. It's great defense versus pretty good offense. But I got Georgia winning, Kentucky covering, and over on the 44.5. Next up, we have the 1-4 Kansas Jayhawks hosting the 4-2 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech is favored by 16.5 on the road. They win. I have them covering. I'm going over on the 66.5. Next up, the 2-3 Rice Owls versus the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, who are 6-0. The Roadrunners are favored by 18.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 54.5. The 5th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, who are 5-1. Wow. That's how I thought about the loss last week. Versus the 3-2 Mississippi State Bulldogs. Bama's favored by 17 on the road. It's going to be a win. It's going to be a cover and over on the 57.5. Next up, we have the 5-1 Liberty Flames versus the University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks, who are 2-3. The Flames are favored by 32. So I got the Warhawks covering the 32 and over on the 56.5. Next up, we have the Iowa State Cyclones, who are 3-2, versus the 3-2 Kansas State Wildcats. Iowa State is favored by 6.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 51.5. Next up, we have the 13th ranked Ole Miss Rebels, who are 4-1, versus the 4-2 Tennessee Volunteers. Ole Miss is favored by 3. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 81. The 22nd ranked NC State Wolfpack, 4-1, going against the 4-1 Boston College Eagles. NC State favored by 3. Agonized over this one a little bit. I think it's going to be a great game. But I'm giving the 3 points to BC. I got the Eagles winning at home, covering the 3 and under in the 51.5. Next up, we have the 4-0 Oklahoma Boomer Sooners, 6-0, hosting the TCU Horned Frogs, 3-2. Oklahoma is favored by 11.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 65.5. Army West Point Black Knights, who are 4-1, versus the Wisconsin Badgers, who are 2-3. Wisconsin favored by 13. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 39. The 4-2 UCLA Bruins versus the 2-3 Washington Huskies. Washington is favored by 2 at home. I'm giving it 2 points to UCLA. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 53. Next up, we have the 5-1 Air Force Falcons versus the 3-3 Boise State Broncos. Boise State is favored by 4 at home. I'm giving that 4 to Air Force. Falcons win, cover, and under in the 51. Louisiana Tech Bulldogs are 2-3 versus the UTEP Miners, who are 5-1. The Bulldogs are favored on the road by 7, which I thought was kind of weird, especially against a team as good as the Miners. At least with the Miners, they're actually giving up less on defense than they're scoring, unlike the Bulldogs, who have given up on an average of 33.4 points a game, scored an average of 33.4 points a game. Exactly the same amount of points. So how do you have 2 wins when you're giving up as many points as you're scoring? Figure that one out. But I got UTEP winning. I'm giving them the 7 points. I got them winning, covering, under on the 55. We have the 18th ranked Arizona State Sun Devils, 5-1, versus the 3-2 Utah Utes. Arizona State favored by 1. I got them winning, covering, and under on the 51. The Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, 3-3, versus the 4-1 Nevada Wolfpack. Wolfpack favored by 14. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 16.5. And last but not least, we have the battle of the 3-3 teams. Stanford Cardinals versus the Washington State Cougars. Washington State was actually a 1.5 dog at home. This is a pretty close matchup here. I am leaning toward the home team. I'm giving them that 1.5. The reason being is defense isn't great, but they're giving up less points than Stanford. And I think Washington can score more points than Stanford. So I got Washington State winning, covering the 1.5 and under on the 52.5. All right, well that will wrap up NCAA College Football Week 7. Make sure you stay tuned to our Average Sports Show for NFL Week number 6 and then CFL Week number 11. Both of those will be up on our Average Sports Show shortly, along with the NASCAR Xfinity Series and NASCAR Cup Series playoff preview, weekly preview, along with the updated playoff statistics coming to Harvard Sports Show this week as well. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Harvard Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports talk content.